Hello fellow travelers and welcome to another episode of In-Depth Boss Guide series, where we take a closer look at the VAT's major threats. I'm too lazy to be awesome, and our guest for today is Electro Regisvine, also known as Electro Flower. Electro Regisvine is normally protected by a shield that gives it a ton of additional resistance. In order to get rid of this shield, you have to break its core. Unlike Pyro or Cryo Regisvines, Electro Regisvine has just one core and it periodically moves it between its roots and corolla. Every time core changes its position, boss summons either waxing or waning stamen. If both are present at the same time, they connect and create a massive explosion. Luckily, you can break them with elemental attacks. Pyro, Cryo and Dendro are the best tools for it. Animo and Geo also work, but they are twice weaker. Note that damage you deal to core or stamens doesn't depend on your stats. What matters is how strong elemental application is. Also, first core is very durable, but every core after the first one will have twice less HP. When you destroy the core, boss loses its resistance bonuses and will be stunned for about 15 seconds, so it's your best chance to deal damage to it. And if you break the core while it's located at corolla, it will become boss weak spot for the rest of the fight, causing your aimed attacks to always crit when you hit it. Some attacks should be very familiar, like Faceplant, on which boss slams its corolla into the ground, releasing 3 electro trails in a fun shape. If you stay close, you can avoid it by dashing to the side. If you're too far, dashing away will be harder, so instead it's better to rely on iframes and dash through. This attack can sometimes be used 3 times in a row, but the way to handle it stays the same. Flail is another attack that you should have seen before, but this time boss usually uses it as a part of Flail Faceplant combo. You can either rely on dashing iframes, run away, or simply double dash behind the boss to avoid flails, since boss just uses them in front of itself and targets you only with the final faceplant. Boss also uses an improved version of Flail every time it wakes up, with the only difference being that in this case it makes a full 360 spin. There are also attacks that depend on where the core is. For example, Laser Sweep can be used only when core is at corolla. It works just like Flail Faceplant combo, but with a big laser ray as a finisher instead. Laser follows you, so dash right before it starts and keep running around until it stops. Or if you hug the boss, it will actually push you itself, and you can use this time to safely damage its core. And when core is at roots, boss might use Rapid Fire to shoot 4 waves of bolts at you, or Thunderbolt Rain to summon lightning strikes around you. To avoid each of them, just keep moving until it stops. Your main goal should be to stay safe, avoid Regisvine's attacks, and use the time in between to get rid of summoned stamens and deal damage to its core. Fighting Regisvine without breaking its core is basically pointless due to insane damage reduction, so don't waste your resources trying to deal damage before you stun it. To make sure that you can stun Electro Regisvine with ease, bring a reliable source of Pyro, Cryo or Dendro damage. For example, mages or archers, or characters with infusions or just effective skills. Bringing archers will speed up the process a lot, since you don't have to wait for the boss to lower its corolla when the core is there. With other characters, you'll have to wait either for Faceplant or for Laser Sweep to be able to attack it. If your damage is low or you don't have good characters and you will need more than one stun to defeat the boss, the best character for you is Ember. Her charged attacks have stronger pyro application, and with just them she has no problem to stun the boss for the first time, and after that Regisvine will be able to do a single attack at most before falling again. And she's also one of the few characters who can destroy the stamens with a single attack. But if you care about speed, the fastest way to stun the boss is to use Shangling with Venti. If executed right, it only takes a few seconds. After that, you are free to use anything you want, but remember that boss has highly increased electro resistance, so it's better to rely on other damage types. There's just one achievement related to Electro Regisvine that you can earn. In order to get it, you have to leave both stamens alive and let them connect and cause an explosion. Bad news, although achievement doesn't say it, you have to get hit by this explosion in order to get it. Good news, it doesn't matter if you survive or not. So use Electro or at least Geo Shields to reduce the damage, but if you don't have them, there is nothing a simple fry deck couldn't fix. Anyway, that's all for now, fellow travelers. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.